What's up, guys? Welcome to Sterling on Cinemas, and that's Cinemas with an S. And today I'll be giving you my review of Splash as part of my Way Back Wednesday series, where I give you reviews on much older films, whether they're timeless or memorable or classics. So before I begin, if you're new to this video, don't forget to like, share, please subscribe, and please leave a comment on the section below and let it be appropriate, okay? Because I've seen a lot of people putting links to explicit websites on my page, and I don't appreciate that. So please, I don't want to see that any further. Just a little nice warning for everybody. But most importantly, watch. Let's get to it. So, Splash, if you're familiar with this movie, you know that it's about a man named Alan Bauer, played by Tom Hanks, who's a workaholic who's convinced he can't fall in love. However, when he was young and was saved from drowning by a beautiful mermaid and ends up falling in love with her 20 years later, she returns to seek him out. Alan and Madison, as he calls her, are soon washed away into a hilarious and heartwarming romance. Before he can choose between life on dry land or a deep-sea paradise with his dream woman, the lovers are rudely interrupted by the intervention of a scheming scientist. Now, I don't have a lot to say about the story, but just bear with me. While most mermaid movies are not that popular today, Splash is certainly a movie that I will remember. Like, I don't know, it's just something about the Tom Hanks movies that you can just get engaged to. Because, like, this is only his second movie. This is Tom Hanks' second movie, so he was a lesser-known actor at the time. But if romance is not already a common trope in these mermaid films, then the story sees a nice, bittersweet, heartfelt romance between Alan and Madison. I love the directing by Ron Howard and how, even though he writes Alan as a person who thinks that there's nobody in the world he can't have, he falls in love with the literal fish out of water, who is nothing but a fish out of water. There really is not a lot that I can extract out of the story, but other than that, it has a very sweet romance. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the story. Now, the characters. I have a lot to say about the characters. Everybody knows that if there's one thing they get right about mermaid movies, it is how to make the mermaid as innocent and as sweet, as beautiful as possible. When in actuality, mermaids really are not very attractive. If you've seen the myths, or if you read folklore, folk tales, you know that mermaids do not look like that at all. However, I love how both Madison and Alan met the same kind of way both times. The first time in the flashback when he was young, he jumped out of the boat, but the second time he fell. Alan and Madison are two very different people. Now, obviously, I know some of you are saying, well, duh, he's a human and she's a mermaid. But even more, Alan is somebody who believes he will never fall in love, especially with his brother Freddie being smooth with the women, or at least a pervert. Madison is a stranger to the land when she embraces him and the real world overnight. Now, I don't really get how she instantly falls in love with him 20 years later, but who cares? It's a beautiful thing to watch. Now, for some of y'all who think that a romance like that can work like that in real life, it doesn't. Like, love does not happen like that overnight. This isn't the Hallmark Channel. This ain't the Hallmark Channel where you just fall in love with somebody overnight or one day. Like that, things like that take a very, very, very long time. Love is not a poem. That's why it's called a love story, for a reason. But another thing is Eugene Levy's character is the one person that ruins everything with his crazy obsession with trying to show everybody that Madison is a mermaid. Therefore, he ruins it for the audience, myself included, as well. But of course, at the end of the day, love isn't perfect, and love is not based on what you see, but rather what you feel. Now, I'm gonna be honest. If I hypothetically speaking, if I had a girl who I found out was a mermaid, I wouldn't care. That would just make her special. But I wouldn't be loving her or turning her down just because she has a half tail. I love her because I've spent the last few days getting to know her, and she'd be funny and bright and beautiful and exploring. But however, the brilliant Foreshadowing by Ron Howard works so well because it shows how with Alan and Madison being different environments but becoming so close nevertheless, it makes their love inseparable. Because like the ending, I won't consider this a spoiler or anything. It's not like it's a big movie, but the ending just sees her recalling how when she was with him underwater, he could breathe. Nice. I love that. That just shows how the irony there is like for a guy who thinks he's not meant to be with anybody, she makes it look like that they are so meant to be, and that's beautiful. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 90% score. Good for them. Good for them. However, Splash is one maverick of a motion picture with a nice direction, sweet romance, good acting, and a beautiful story that will never wave goodbye. I'm sorry. But other than that, I will give it 7.8 essos out of 10. So that is my review on Splash. You can let me know what you guys think about it. If you've seen it, if you're not, you can go ahead and see. It's pretty good movies, pretty nice romance. Yeah, and you can actually find it on Disney Plus if you have it. If you have it on Disney Plus, you can find it because it's considered a Disney movie. I don't know how, but anyway, you can let me know what you guys think about in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time in my next video. Oh, before I go, let me point one thing out to you. It's about time where I explain my essos and where that idea came from. Now, I think I gave a brief description about essos, the essos rating during one of my Marvel movie reviews, but let me be more direct. So the grading range is kind of like Rotten Tomatoes, but let me be more specific. 10, if it's 10 essos, if it's a perfect score, that means it's excellent. If it's somewhere in the 90s, that means it's awesome. It's awesome, entertaining, timeless, any good thing you can describe something. If it's in the 80s, it's great. If it's in the 70s, it's good. If it's in the 60s, it's boring, predictable, or weak, or one-dimensional. Or if it's under 60, if it's under 6.0 essos, then it's basic, shallow, bad, one-dimensional. You know, the usual. Any bad thing you can to describe something. But however, with me being a critic, that my job as a critic is not to just slam a movie. It is to give what they could have done better. That is why it's called film criticism. It's not just where you say, hey, this film sucks, or this film is bad, it's boring, I don't like it. You got to give what was wrong with it and what they could have made better. It's a little lesson for y'all today. But I just wanted to take that time to give y'all the grading system, my grading system for these movies. And if there's anybody asking what essos came from, what is that? Well, let me explain. So it's written like a $, apostrophe, $0. It's like my initials, SOS, Sterling on Still, Sterling on Cinemas. And essos sounds like euros, which is also a currency. So that is my description on the essos rating system. And I'll see you guys next time in my next video.